definition, journaling is the action of writing in a journal with purpose and intention. It is a tool for personal and professional growth, and it has been used in many different formats for many years. In fact, if we look back in history, we see that one of the first journals was associated to a Japanese traveler called Madubo, who about 2,000 years ago was traveling and kept notes of where he was going and what he was doing, because this was a type of diary keeping for him. However, more recent discoveries show that there were signs of using a journal from back when the Egyptian papyrus was used 4,000 years ago, when there were builders who would document the actions and the resources needed to build a bridge, and they kept a journal with different signs and different ways of keeping track of that. Now, of course, these are not groundbreaking, emotional, therapeutic pieces of writing, but they did contribute to the development of different industries, and it's important to mention that journaling has been part of the history for so many years. Also, because we first started to write down the actions, the facts, it's important to see how later on the journal became more of a place for talking about emotions and feelings. There are many writers in history who have kept their journals and later got published, and this is how we see their struggle and how they were expressing their emotions. Many artists have shared their journals or have their journals published, and this way we see all that internal struggle and we understand better their internal world. The thing is that journaling is like a mirror for what you are going through, what you are experiencing, what you are feeling from your internal perspective. It can be completely different from what is projected on the outside world and what other people see about you. This is why in your journal you want to be honest, you want to be really authentically you, and you want to share with your journal exactly your feelings. It's going to help you get to know yourself better, become more aware of your thoughts and feelings, and also this way you will improve your relationships with the people around you because you will show up with more honesty and authenticity. Many other visionaries have kept a journal and they started to take notes about their genius ideas, and these notebooks have been shared with the public during the years. Starting with Marcus Aurelius and his meditations, and continuing with Albert Einstein, Mark Twain, Virginia Woolf, or Frida Kahlo, there are many people who have shared their inner world in a journal. One of the most famous journals, probably the most well-known journal in the world, is The Diary of a Young Girl, Anne Frank's journal. This is the story of a young girl who was a refugee with her family during the German occupation, and they were hiding for a couple of years, and she started to write in a journal about her experience. Later, they were discovered and taken into concentration camp and killed, but the father was the only one who survived and found this notebook and decided to publish it. Even to nowadays, it's a very powerful and very emotional book because you read a journal and you realize that it's not a fiction book, it's really the life of someone who lived all those experiences, and you understand that it's very, very real. But I do recommend you to read any of the journals that I have mentioned, and especially the journal of Anne Frank, if you want to understand a little bit more about the power of writing in a journal. One of the best quotes that I found when it comes to differentiating between a diary and the journal was from Henry David Thoreau, who said that the journal is a record of experience and growth, not just a preserve of things well said and done. In a diary, we just write about the things we say and do, and we write down and take notes of the facts and the actions. But in a journal, we keep track of our growth. This is why when we have that intention to follow along with our personal and professional growth, our journal is going to be there to witness every step of the way. Another great journal keeper, James Cummings, said that I keep a journal as a testimony to the fact that I have lived, not just existed. This is so beautiful because it means that in a journal, we have this responsibility to share the amazing things, the amazing emotions, and everything that happens in our reality in order to keep the memories of the life that we have been living. And later on, we can decide to keep these journals and read them and remind ourselves of the beautiful memories that we decided to store by writing them down. Journaling is known under many names. You can call it writing therapy, you can call it writing for healing, you can call it therapeutic writing or journal therapy. Either way, it refers to the act of putting pen to paper with purpose and intention. And as long as you start seeing the positive benefits of journaling, then you will want to bring it more into your day-to-day life. This is why practicing journaling is really more important than how you call it. Writing can become part of your day-to-day routine, and it will be a practice that you will experience, and you will see how it evolves through your own lenses. Once you start getting out of your head and you will start being more careful and more aware of the thoughts that you are accepting in your mind, you will start writing them down. You will start to decide which ones are good for you, which ones are not so good for you, and how you want to transform them. You will become more understanding of yourself and the way that you act in society. You will become more compassionate and forgiving with your own self and perhaps also with the people around you. It's important to stay present during the process of journaling because this is the only way in which you can be honest and in which you can really experience the positive effects of writing. We are complex creatures, and you will discover that thoughts generate both happiness and sadness, and it's important to understand which thoughts bring which emotion, because this way you will be able to see which thoughts contributes to your happiness in one moment or another. The benefits of journaling have been very well known and researched throughout time, mostly in psychotherapy. Writing notes during psychotherapy sessions is something that has been used for a very, very long time. But it was only more recently in the 70s when Professor James Pennebaker from the University of Texas decided to take this one step deeper and do some research around the importance of writing for your mental health as well as your physical health. We're going to talk about this in the next lesson.